All right, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and get this started. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Andrew. I've been co-facilitating this program with random people that show up during the program for over 2 years now. The program is basically a place where we all get to share our insights about a different topic each week. If we're in a place that we have something to offer, of course, jump on and share what you know about the topic and your insights. And if you're in a place where you're a little weak and you have something to learn, then by all means, just kick back and enjoy the program and listen and learn whatever you can. I usually have a notepad out, and I usually fill it up pretty good each time. So pen and paper is a definite positive during the program, because you will learn something possibly that you didn't know before. I can almost assure you of that. So without further ado, we've got week 123, applying good ethics in our lives. Potential talking points, we got what's the definition of ethics or being ethical or ethical, aka what does it mean to be ethical? What do bad ethics, or where do bad ethics come from? Where do good ethics come from? How to know right from wrong? And what are some examples of how we have applied good ethics in our lives? So if you have any other thoughts, that's just tentative talking points. But the floor is yours whenever you feel compelled to share something about this.
What's up, everyone?
What's up, Peter? How you doing, brother? Welcome to the program. Whoop, whoop.
How you doing, Andrew?
FYI, your sound's a little muffled. I don't know if you're talking through something or just sounds a little muffled, that's all. All right, here's a definition of ethics. The discipline of dealing with what is good and bad with moral duty and obligation. A set of moral principles or values. The principle of conduct governing an individual or group. This topic might be a little tricky, so we're just going to segue into this best we can. And anyone who feels compelled to share anything, really, this isn't going to be perfect. Just as life is not perfect. Just any thoughts you have about it, go ahead and mic up and share what you feel about it. Maybe I can start with the question, what does it mean to be ethical?
Sorry, y'all. I'm cutting up a pizza.
No problemo. Do your thing. All right, this might be better, just to dig into this. Where do bad ethics come from? Where does that happen? And where do good ethics come from?
From your peers?
Hey,
What's up, Cheryl?
hey, I wouldn't close over that first question. I'm sorry. Keep here. Yeah, and I'm surprised nobody would really know what that is. Yeah, it's to use morals or principles to do what's right when it comes to whatever it is, work or relationships and so on. To have high standards in applying these standards of morality and anything that you deal with, really. Treating people right, taking into consideration how they feel and how it would help a situation in a positive way. So I'm like just waking up here. I probably would have given you a much better explanation if I was more awake. But yeah, it's yeah, you guys know what this is, right? Yeah, anyway, I think we use a lot of ethics here in this channel. One of the things that this channel embodies. So, yeah, anybody else want to add anything to that? I will let the mic go. And hello to everyone.
Hello, Cheryl. How you doing? Hope your day's going well. Hope your sleep went well.
Yeah, I needed a nap.
A nap is always good in the afternoon.
Yeah, I gotta practice that more often because we tend to get tired towards the end of the day, and if we can do a quick 1 or 2 hour recharge, we got energy to stay focused, especially if we're working on our own projects after work. It would help a lot. They say if you're going to work on yourself, you should do that early in the morning before work, but how many people actually do that, right? So maybe that's an ethic. Maybe that's good ethics. I don't know. Cheryl, practicing good ethics. I don't know if you could quite call it that, but maybe.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd call it that. But taking good care of yourself is a good thing nonetheless.
Good evening there, Cheryl. Long time no talk.
Yeah, hello there. Welcome back. Good to have you here. So, yeah, some people might be just showing up. Andrew, you might want to present that question again. Let them know what we're doing here.
Let's see which question. Kind of already went over the definition of ethics. The next question I think that's pretty important is where do good and bad ethics come from? Where do we get that from? If we get bad ethics, which governments and people get, okay, organizations, governments, and people could have bad ethics or good ethics, but where do they come from? So identifying where do they come from. If you tend to have bad ethics, you might be hanging out with the wrong people. So that was a thought I had. Is it or watching the wrong newscast or following a negative news group of some sort online, or a group on Facebook or whatnot. Where are you getting it from, good or bad? Figuring that one out. I don't know.
It can come from anywhere. Like Andrew said, hanging with, being around the people you're with. It can come with inside of yourself also.
Yeah, I think it comes a lot from being self-serving, which can include a whole host of things: greed and lust, and power, lust for power, um, etc. And yeah, I think most of the time that's where it comes from. But it can also come from just a poor background of in many ways, where you grew up, the society, peers, parents, family. That's how they behaved, perhaps. They never instilled good ethics. Um, but I think being considerate of others is going to bring about uh, good ethics, and lack of that, lack of consideration for others, you're not going. People may not be ethical.
Would you guys say that you had an upbringing or um, an environment of good ethics in your life, or um, were you raised into that? Did you have to choose that later in life? Do you feel like you're in a bad environment in regards to ethics, where people are being unethical around you? What's your status in regards to that? Where you're getting your ethics, good or bad, from?
Oh, I think there's some good and some bad in my life when I was younger. Some voids, just not one way or the other. A lot of that too.
Yeah, it's like, who are your role models? Who were you shadowing or modeling when you were younger? Could affect you pretty heavily. The groups that you hung out with in high school or college or whatever, growing up, your family life, the people, your parents, but primarily, of course, are going to have a huge effect on your moral, your ethical stance on things. Whether you are or are not ethical. Where you have good or bad ethics might come a lot from your parents. Might still come a lot from your parents, because as long as they're around, they're gonna try to teach you, even though you might be teaching them at some point. For sure.
Yeah. Well, I think if you pay attention, you got a pretty good sense of what's right and what's wrong. At least I think that's how it was for me. Some people just don't have it. I think some of it comes from empathy, and also an understanding of people. If you don't have those things, then um, I think, yeah, if you don't have empathy or a good understanding of people, you don't care about people, I don't think anybody's going to have ethics at all.
I have to agree with you on that one there, Cheryl. I really, really do. I agree with you on that.
Hanya, is there any chance that your volume, your microphone, is low, or you're far away from it or something? Your voice sounds a little low compared to Cheryl's, and at this point, that's the only thing I have to reference it to. But just I keep kind of raising and lowering my volume to hear you.
Is that a little bit better for you?
Yeah, it seems like it. What do you think, Cheryl? Can you hear her all right? Tanya?
Like I said, I'll work.
I like that. If you don't care about other people, then how could you possibly have ethics? How could you possibly be ethical? I like that. You have to care about people to be ethical, so to speak. This might be moving right along, but the next question I had tentative for tonight was, how do you know right from wrong? Because I think ethics, having good ethics, is knowing right from wrong. Um, like, what are the ways that we can know what's the right thing to do and or the wrong thing to do, or the right way to be or the wrong way to be, you know? I mean, there's information all around us, right? Just constant, we're barraged with information day in and day out. How do we know, um, yeah, good from bad, right from wrong? In other words, how do we know that we are ethical, or that we even have good ethics when someone else might look at that as being bad, supposedly, just hypothetically? How do we know?
I think one of the best ways is consider other people. Put yourself in their shoes, so to speak, and think about how that would affect them, how they would feel, how it would impact their lives. And if you see positive in it, then pretty good chance it's ethical.
Exactly, Cheryl. Because I come from a divorced family, and with my husband, he has two children from a previous marriage. And I put myself in those his children's shoes. And I stuck up for those children, told both their mother and my husband that it's not good to speak about the other parent in front of those children. And now, as these children got older, they have told me they do appreciate what I did and stood up for them.
Yeah, that's good. I think when you put yourself in the other person's shoes, um, you think about how they'd feel. Is this going to make them feel good? It's going to make them feel rotten. Is this going to help them? Is this going to hurt them? I think you have your answer there when you consider that.
That was definitely a good answer. um, yeah, how else would you know? I mean, I'm having trouble with that myself. Like, how would you know, that what you're doing is ethical? I mean, I think of it, the only thing I could think of is it, does it have a sense of love and caring and kindness, or does it not? Whatever you're about to do. Um, whether it be it ethical or not. You'd know that possibly if there was a sense of love in there and caring for others. So kindness. That's all I got right now. I'm sure you guys all have maybe some other insights. If you do, jump on the mic.
That's well said, Andrew. Yeah. Don't think I could say that better myself. Exactly. Does it come from love, from caring? Does it come from anger, resentment, distaste, a lack of caring, a lack of morals? Yeah. What side of the fence do you play on? There you go.
Firmly on the side of the fence that is love, for sure. Like, I feel like love, anything done in the essence, I guess, of love, of compassion, of kindness, whatever, is just powerful. I experienced, just to share something quick, when I was over in Philadelphia, I took a trip to Philadelphia. I don't know, many people probably don't know this, but I took a trip to Philadelphia last minute. There was some violence happening on the outskirts of the Democratic National Convention. People just, angry about this, that, and the other, burning flags, trying to jump, knock down fences and whatnot. So went with the group. I met up with the group and went with the group to the fence line, who were simply singing, "We are in this together." It was just a chant. And everybody had, free hug signs and other signs about love. We were all one. There's a ton of love going on there, and there's a huge number of people, like 200 or 300 people, and that action alone, literally, from how I heard it from people who were watching this happen outside of it, the people who would have been negative and violent, those people around them that were really kind of nonviolent and they were just kind of feeding into that energy, they walked away from the people who were truly violent and joined this group, this chant, this love, right? And so that love actually pulled and which let's say isolated the potential violence as being only a few. And that was super powerful. So anything done with the essence of love, like in your heart or whatever it might be, is, I think, truly like the most powerful ethics.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that when you were saying what side of the fence you were on, because I watched some of those videos that you posted. Some of them were choppy, but some weren't. I got the gist of it. And yeah, that's cool. You got some people sitting on the fence. Some people just climbed over it, but you guys were able to pull them back over, or get them off the fence, and not let them get sucked into that. That was a good thing you guys were doing. It's really cool.
And I love that idea. I'm glad that you were involved with that, though. Being a good person and doing the love and all that, Andrew.
Yeah, so you had your tribe, as you call it. How many people were there? I saw you guys standing under the bridge. A group of you. Was that all of you there?
There was a photo that only captures about maybe 20 people. There was really, the core group was, I think, about 100. And then by the time we got to the fence line, we had gathered through the park, we had gathered probably another 50 to 100, and then by the time we got to the fence line and people saw what we were doing and what we were about, they just immediately jumped on board and just started singing and just being with us, just because that's the energy they'd rather have, essentially. So by then, it was about 300 plus. I don't even know. I can't even imagine at that point. You can't even guess how many people, but there were 300 plus. We had a unity circle where everybody was arm to arm, shoulder to shoulder. Easily, I would say 300 people plus. I don't know. And then the day before, we did a march, and that was over 1,000, I'm sure. Basically, all singing that chant together. We are in this together. It's up to us. And it literally was almost got, like, over the days that I was there, that almost got old. But the reality of it is we are in this together, and it is up to us. Politics and whatnot. So it was a very ethical thing to do. Is to be there. I mean, I could have just chosen not to, but I'm grateful now that I didn't listen to anybody else tell me I probably didn't need to go, and I just went. Because I am that. That is I, pretty much. So it was essential that I was there.
Yeah, that's cool that you went. That must have been really neat being a part of that. How many people? How many days was it, and how many people would you say there were there total, at least? Well, say like at the peak time. I'm sure there's people coming and going, but like at the peak.
It just depends on what day. It went from Monday through Thursday, and there was some marches and whatnot after, on like Friday and Saturday, I believe. But I would say at the peak I believe that was Tuesday night. When I told you, hey, it's, a lot of stuff's going down here. I don't think I'm going to be able to do the program tonight. And you can, as you know, I never got back that night, and I never got back on the mic just to check in, see what's going on. I know we canceled it, but I was tentatively going to check in. But there was just so much going on, and that was the night where we did a march with, like I say, over 1,000 people. At a certain point, you just can't even count. There's so many. And then we met up with the Black Lives Matter march that was coming towards us, back towards the fence line, and from like City Hall, I believe. And it got a little crazy, so I just jumped out of the crowd, so to speak, and I just heard it. Just things changed. The environment changed. There was more of a Black Lives Matter chant, and there were some edgy Black Lives Matter people that were really not feeling what we were about, and might have looked at us as the problem, which is like, hey, see it however you want to see it. But like I say, that's where I jumped out and caught up with my group later in the evening. They were doing like a vigil when I got back. They were literally doing similar chant, a little bit more rhythm. And by the time I got back, it was they were literally doing a candlelight vigil with music, candle lights in the center, and handing different candles, handing candles out for people to light around the circle, and it was pretty cool, like emotional, just cool. That was a lot fewer people at that point, but it was also really late, so probably around 11 o'clock, near midnight. So overall, very good, very worthwhile. But I digress. Where were we?
Oh, you can just pick up one of your talking points.
Yeah, there was a lot about that, and there's so much more to it. Those couple days, but that's the gist of it. Just really awesome stuff. So many cool experiences. So many good people. So yeah, we can talk more. And but if you guys go to my Facebook profile, I did a lot of live streams while I was there, like Cheryl said. could check out some of what went on. I have a friend that also was doing a lot of live streaming, so between the two of us, we captured as much as we possibly could, considering. So let me know if you're interested. I can get you my Facebook, and you can check that stuff out.
Were you holding a vigil for the cops that were killed?
We were holding a vigil for everyone, brother. I can't even tell you the all that it's gone down. In fact, there was one lady that was chanting all the, basically, reading off all the names of all the people that had been killed, including the officers and people, a lot of black people who had been shot in recent times. And it seemed to go on for quite a while. She was very keen on all that had been killed over all this downward spiral that we've been in, at least our country, and like, it's not just our country, it's just our country does it in a different way, I guess, but it's, this downward spiral. And I think what needed to happen was love's voice to be heard, and people to see that there is something else. There's a power out there that's stronger than any of this us versus them, that is a unifying power, and really it's love. It's just, I mean, it's hard to describe. A lot of people think of love in different ways, but this love of humanity kind of thing is something that not everybody is normally exposed to. So and that was what this was all about. It was showing the rest of the world, so to speak, that there are a people in the world that care about everyone, literally everyone, and every issue, and everybody's voice. That everyone's voice matters. So yeah, it was a great thing to be a part of that. There were some people saying that it didn't matter what we were doing, that it was pointless, and I beg to differ. But everybody has their opinion on everything. But yeah, it's the experience was one that I'll never forget. That many people coming together to create a calm in a space of unease and tension and violence. I think that's a priceless commodity that we have as a culture. That many people coming together to do something like that is a superpower, in a way.
Oh, sure. It's like being diplomats, but you don't have to really go into discussions. You just bring the vibe, bring your chant with your meaning, and show some love, and that's awesome. Doesn't take rocket science.
Well, good for you. Most excellent.
We learned a couple weeks ago, maybe a month ago, that most of communication is nonverbal anyway. So it's like, if you have to communicate with words peace, then you kind of already missed the point. Ironically, you've already missed the point. If you have to say, "Oh, peace, peace, peace," it's mostly nonverbal. That's more powerful anyway.
Yeah, and I noticed you guys, a lot of you are holding up your fingers in the peace sign. I mean, that says it right there. It says peace right there, and more. So yeah, no words necessary for that. So did you kind of find out about this last minute? Because it sounds like you planned it really last minute. And the friend you stayed with, is he also out in LA, or was he out in that area?
Yeah, it was all last minute. Within about a week or so of going, I heard about it, the possibility, and what their intention was, which was still kind of up in the air. But I think they all knew. The last night I was there, they all knew. We were all in a circle. We were talking about what brought us there, what we're grateful for, this and that, and we hadn't even gotten around the circle, and we got a call, kind of like I think of it as like a bat call. This is such an intriguing story. I feel like I should write something about it. anyway, we got this call. One of the members were the tribe members, I would call them, mentioned, hey, by the way, I heard that so and so is on the front lines and they're burning flags over there, and they're trying to jump the fence and they're getting really rowdy. I think we're basically, the idea was, I think we're needed, and it was, I think of it as like a bat call, only instead of for one guy, Batman, it's like for a whole group of people to calm an environment that would otherwise be violent. So literally we finished that up as generally as quickly as we could, kind of knowing was pending, what's kind of going on, that it could get worse. And I think the overall consensus is that we need to go. Given, yes, there might have been some danger, we didn't know what, but it was this idea that as together we're much more powerful, much more protected than if we went as one or two. So nobody was left behind. Nobody, maybe one actually that I know of. I won't name names, but one person that I know of stayed back. In fact, that was a person that was cautioning that, oh, well, we don't need to do this. If you guys don't want to go, that's okay. And I get that. But everybody, as far as I know, every other person, like, just stepped up, and it was a moment that I will probably never forget. Given most of the violent acts had already kind of gone down by the time we got there. Those people were probably still around. I would say most certainly they would probably still be around. So, but it was just that thought of, okay, we're going into danger, but we're going to do it together, and we're going to. That intention right there is the thing that will transmute whatever negativity there is in the space that we enter, and that space being literally the visual and the audible range of others seeing this and witnessing this. So it was epic, and I really hope that something like that will happen again. I really, part of me feels like it's essential that something like that happens again in other parts of the country and or the world. I just think that it's a force that we can't discredit. That it's something, it's real.
You had said that most of it had died down when you got there, but you never know. Your presence there might have, created this environment where it wouldn't have happened again. Like maybe if you guys weren't there, something just like it or worse could have happened. So I think you guys were like the clouds over the flames to kind of rain on that and diffuse it.
Yeah, you're totally right. It could have easily been that, with that presence not there, that huge presence of just straight up love, like there is a good chance that could have happened. The police that were witnessing this around us, we had interviewed a couple of them, and they were all super grateful. Like, look, guys, we didn't have to deal with any violence the whole time you were there. We didn't have to deal with anything. So you can't refute the fact that the presence of this tribe being there, you can't refute that. It definitely prevented what could have been worse, like you said. So, I mean, the cops were grateful, and at the end when we left, we basically said, we love you. We all said, we love you, officers, or something like this, and I think they all gave us a nod. They were all grateful. So it was pretty very emotional, very like one of those nights that you will never forget.
Yeah, I bet you anything. It would have been, definitely would have been different. There would have been some violence. And could have been worse than that one day. Because without any unity I mean, there may be some peace-loving people there, but without like a group, the unity there, and on a large scale of people gathering and putting out that good vibe, you would have had, you know, just your regular people, and then these other violent people, and the other people could have gotten into it, and it would have just been a big shitstorm, you know, without any large group to put some harmony out there and some love into it.
Yeah, I just think of that group as being a magnet for anyone who has a heart, um, or still hears that, or feels that. It's a magnet to pull those people away from the would-be violent people, because violence, um, it's like I don't know, it's like an energy. And if you're being triggered by that energy of being pissed off and like F you, F this, F that, that energy is going to group with that energy. But if there's a larger number of people who have this other energy that's triggering the love in you, which I think as human beings we all have that. We all have the capacity for love. It's built in, like we're born with that. I think we learn hate and violence, you know, based on information that separates us. But love is built in. So when that many people show up to a scene with that essence of love, it's hard. It would be really hard to just ignore that and continue being, you know, the opposite of love, whatever that is for people. You know, it would be really hard. So at least what it did is it was a magnet to pull all of the borderline, like, I don't know what I'm doing here. Why am I even here? What am I protesting against? What am I doing? And just pulling those people just away and into this more loving crowd. I just think that was, if anything, if this were to happen again, that's the point. Because when those people who are violent are left alone to do their dirty work, they lose all their power. It completely loses all their power, and yet still they're every moment being invited to just let go of the violent side of themselves and just, you know, fall back into their essence, you know, at least for a moment, for the time that those people the tribe was there. That I just call them the love tribe. I don't know how else to describe them. They're part of a group, medicine tribe, I think, but I just call them the love tribe because they're just, you know, I would call us the love tribe. Pretty awesome. So that would be applying good ethics right there. I mean, literally, if that's ethical, then the application of that ethics is freaking awesome. I mean, beyond words, that's like the ultimate awesome.
Yeah, I'd say it's an ethical thing. And I wouldn't say everybody has love in their heart, but most people have at least something there. And you are in an environment, I mean, where, you know, people have got a lot of angst, a lot of passion towards, you know, what's going on. People very dissatisfied, and to be angry might be just the thing that the normal reaction. They don't know how else to express it, you know. So even though they may have love in their heart, they may be quite angry, and that can erupt in some violence and some anger, displays of anger. But yeah, and so you got people there, you know, yeah, they got love in their hearts, but they got some anger too. And, you know, they might just easily fall into whatever vibe stirs them, you know, but love is greater. And so, you know, while they might be, you know, having some flames coming out of their nose one moment, they see all this group of love, and they feel it, and it's like, well, you know what, that's better. I'm gonna go with this, and there's a better way to deal with this, you know, write to our representatives or whatever it might be, you know, hold up a sign. That's fine. That's fine. Share what you feel, but do it with love.
concur. Like whatever you're gonna do it with love. I mean, holding a sign and you know, trying to get your sign or your voice heard on some kind of media. You know, someone's holding up a camera and you're getting in there and you're saying your voice. You're speaking your voice, your frustrations. Fine, but you know, when you get violent against people who may not, you know, like you're getting violent against you know, police or security or whoever it might be, like they're not a part of this. Yeah, maybe they are paid to be there to protect, you know, the people inside the DNC or whatever it might be. Yeah, they're paid to be there. It doesn't necessarily mean they want to be there. We had a lot of officers that said, look, you know, if I wasn't paid to be here, like I might be joining you right now. You know, like literally they said that. So you can't just assume that just because they're, let's say, on the other side of the fence, that they believe everything that those quote unquote those people believe. You know, it was, again, it was a super nourishing time, and like I said, I could write a book about just what that was all about and the experiences. But you know, maybe this will be it. You know, who knows? Just mentioning that experience here. I tentatively wasn't going to mention anything about it, but it just kind of came up, and I'm like, you know what, that's it. You know, I mean, if you're going to be ethical, love is it. You know, it is the foundation of ethics, I think.
Yeah, well, it goes with the topic. It coincides. It does have something to do with it. It's a good example. So did anybody give a cop a hug? Maybe that could have been another one of those iconic pictures, as you remember from the, what was that county that guy got killed and the black kid hugged the cop?
Yeah, there's a free hugs poster child out there, you know, hugging cops and hugging marathon runners and whatnot. His name's Ken Nalke, I think last name. But no, yeah, I offered twice a group of cops. I said, hey, you guys, anybody want to hug? Both times I got at least one person that was like, you know, whatever, it's all good, you know. And then when we were leaving, one of the nights when we were leaving the fence line, there's this one black officer, African American officer, that basically said, "Oh, no, you're not leaving yet. You know, one more." And so we all dropped everything and went over and gave him a hug. One of my friends that I stayed with, he knows when. He's like, "All right, I'm gonna get this." He just starts recording on his GoPro. And I interviewed the guy, so hopefully that'll come out pretty soon here. I'll be able to share it maybe. So yeah, that guy was saying the same thing. Like basically, you know, if I wasn't paid to do this, I'd probably be out here joining you guys. I mean, there were people from all walks of life in that unity circle that one night. It's just like all walks of life. I mean, I saw a video going through like all the faces all the way around the circle, and like we're talking about everyone there, you know. So yeah, humbling, completely humbled by that, you know. So let me think what else there is to discuss here. Let me look at my questions. There was a couple of other questions, or maybe at least one other question.
Yeah, you had some other talking points. I'm sure there was more than one, maybe 3 more, maybe even 4, because I think you only asked 3 so far. Yeah. But yeah, that's cool. That's cool. You got the cops. Really appreciated that and showed their appreciation. Told you guys that. Participated in the hug or hugs. But yeah, what's your next talking point, hon? And thank you for sharing that.
Sure. You're right. It was kind of on point. So, let's see. We talked a little bit about how to know right from wrong. How do you know you're being ethical, good or bad? Kind of nailed that one. you guys have any other thoughts on how to know right from wrong. How do you cut through the fog and know if what you're doing is right? I don't know. Maybe you guys can shine some light on that. And then the last one, which is really the core of this topic, was what are some examples of how we have applied good ethics in our lives? You know, like, think about that. Yeah, maybe my experience was one, but you know, there are other times in our lives where we should be able to come up with where we just apply whatever good ethics we have. And again, guys, this is the time where you get to brag. It's okay to talk about how, I don't know, nice you are. It's all good. This is totally all good here. You know, some people might feel like, oh, I don't want to, you know, I don't want to boast or whatever. This is the time, you know, because you might have an example of how you were ethical or kind or whatever it might be that other people didn't know anything about, and all of a sudden they're like, oh wow, I could do that too. Great. So you know, mic up for sure.
All right, and yeah, I think that was a fine example of ethics there, Andrew, in an epic way. I think that was excellent. You know, you affected a lot of people. I think when you affect a lot of people, you know, you do it on a larger scale. It means more. Not to say that, you know, you're ethical and you do something small or large, helps out one or two people, that's not important either. It certainly is. But I think on a large scale, like for me, the biggest thing I've done on a large scale that falls into ethics, and like I said, this channel is ethical, it embodies ethics. I think my biggest contribution so far has been this channel, and I've come together with complete strangers. You know, I got on this app and I thought, wow, what a wonderful app. You know, I went on some channels and, you know, there was some good stuff, really good stuff, but there was a lack of ethics as well. And there were people that were getting treated poorly, getting ignored, being singled out, being discriminated upon, being cut off. Just the whole gamut that, you know, that happens here on Zello. And I just thought, no, we need another place. We need a better place. There's people here that can treat each other right, and want to be treated right. And so I built it. I built Ring of Fire. Put a cute name on it. Put an excellent description and set of rules to set the tone, the intention. And they came with gratitude, and they're still coming. And we're what, like, let me see, 14,000, oh gosh, 15,733 strong.
That would definitely be a shining example of ethics, is you know, creating a place where people can talk in a space of respect. You know, I think what's the most ethical about this channel is the fact that there is a guideline as to how you are to be in this channel. Because I think without that, you know, ethics can go out the window. So maybe good ethics is having a kind of like a guide for good ethics, you know, because some people don't really know how to be, you know, how to be kind. And so, you know, with that guideline, the rules of the channel, that kind of sets the tone for the good ethics to happen, which is cool.
Yeah, and you know, not everything's always perfect. Some people get out of line, or some people don't do their best at getting along with others, or they clash, and you know, I think the moderators are pretty well equipped, but we're all human, and you know, sometimes it could have been done a little better. And it's a shame if anybody got blocked that, you know, maybe would have deserved another chance after cooling off. And it's not perfect, but I think it's as good as it gets. and I think we all do a great job here, mods and users alike, to keep this a peaceful environment. And yeah, it's a beautiful thing here. Just, you know, every day we meet somebody new and make some new friends. And I think people get treated pretty fairly here, as fair as can be. You know, I know I've seen it happen. Other channels are blocking people because somebody came and whispered something about someone in their ear. And that's not ethical. I've refused to ever be a part of something like that in this channel. People come to me too. Oh, that person's a pedophile. That person did this. And I'm not doing it. You know, if they want to behave in here, they're fine. I'm not going to block them. So I think just being fair and considerate of others, that's definitely ethical.
I agree with you 100%. Nobody wants to go to rooms that are full of drama, full of people backstabbing you. That's why I like this room. I come here to relax, to talk, to make new friends, and it's very nice.
And we don't pass judgment. At least we try not to. I think when we have to trust people in, or as moderators, we do have to be judgmental to a degree. We have to judge if this person is going to be peaceful and keep the peace in the channel, or if they're disruptive. But that's the extent of the judgment. Beyond that, you know, what people's thoughts are, as long as they behave well, you know, what their thoughts are, what their preferences, and whatever it is that they do, their opinions, we don't touch that. That's sacred, and we got to respect that. Oh, and I guess I should say now, if anyone would like, hold on, someone's keying up. Okay. If anyone would like to be trusted in the channel, there's a set of rules we'd like you to read and get familiar with if you haven't already. There's a picture below the Z to click on. Read on through the rules, come back, let us know that you've read them and you're willing to follow them. And if you're on iOS, please let me know because they may not display. Okay, a little bit choppy there, J-Rock, but welcome to Ring of Fire, everybody. This is J-Rock. Yeah, I hope you have a good time here. You stick to the rules, have respect for people. You're good to stay and come back as much as you want. We're doing a program we do each Tuesday, nourishing, loving top discussion, and our topic tonight is applying good ethics in our lives. So we still have probably another hour and a half or so to go. So glad you're here. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yeah, like I said, I'm J-Rock, New York, and yeah, I help people all the time. I'm not ashamed to say it. I see a bum in the street, homeless person, I give him a couple of dollars, you know, help him out.
Prime example, good ethics right there. First of all, my name's Andrew, from Los Angeles. J-Rock, you're gonna love it here. I don't know where you've been on Zello so far, but this channel for me was like an oasis, you know, away from just some nasty back talking, just trash talking channels. So hopefully you got to it early like I did. Anyway, yeah, I just reminded me, for a while there, I was any of the free hug signs that I had used that didn't look all that great, because I usually just get donations for nice clean ones that people could take home. the free hug signs. I usually kept like some older signs, some used signs in the car, and so whenever I would come up on a you know, someone on the side of the roads, you know, with the homeless sign, I would at least offer the sign and suggest that they use it maybe every hour that they're pedaling for money, maybe an hour they spend just holding up the sign, whether they get a hug through a door window or not, or whether someone actually steps out of the car to give them a hug. It couldn't hurt. So I for a while there I was doing that. I got to remember to put some signs in my car. I have some stickers that I'm giving out now. I have these "What's Not Wrong" stickers that I have now that I can hand to them. Maybe sometimes with some change. So just depends on if I got change too.
Well, another good idea about that is, you know, kindness begets kindness. They're out there offering a hug rather than asking for something. They're actually offering something. Instead, you know, they get to receive a hug, they give a hug, and, you know, people see that this person cares enough to give a hug, then maybe that kindness in return will get some of the change or, you know, money, whatever it is that they need in return. Yeah, anyway, one of the talking points that we have reached just now, J-Rock, is sharing some of the things that we've done that's ethical. And you said that you've given some loose change to people. Do you have some other things that you could mention, or anybody else? And it's your platform. It's everyone's platform. So feel free right now. We can brag. It's okay. We give you the invitation to do so.
Definitely, I believe in giving something to this person who's desperately you know, down on their luck, you could say. But yeah, I would give the person a shirt off my back. I definitely donated a couple of jackets. Like, I don't even hardly even wear it anymore now. I would just give them to people that I see in the street, that I see daily. I say, hey, it's getting kind of cold. So I even ask the person. I say, hey, do you need a coat? And they say, sure. Just give me whatever you got. I'll give it to them. You know.
It totally reminds me of it was a short film or something. I forget if it was the end of a show or just something I saw on YouTube, and it was like there was a stick up in an alley, and these guys came out of an alley, and this guy, you know, was trying to mug him and holding him up with a gun, and the guy's like, give me your shoes, give me your shoes. And the guy's like, okay, sure. Here's my shoes. And then the guy's like, that's all you need? What about you? You my jacket? He's like, yeah, give me your jacket. and then he says, you need a shirt too? You know, how about some pants? So literally, he walked away. He was like in his underwear, and the guy literally like took everything, his wallet as well, and everything. So it's this idea that, you know, recognizing the fact that if someone's got a gun to you, asking you for money, I think actually it started with money, asking you for money, you know, obviously they're in a different position in life than you of need, and they're not only need, but a desperate need. So that is the moment where you get to shine and be like, look, I have this stuff that I'm wearing. I have my money. I can give this to you now. Yeah, you might be not so well off in that particular moment, but really, this person is desperate. I'm sorry, but this person trumps you as far as need is concerned. So I like that. I think that's really cool. The idea of like, hey, what else do you need? You know, freaking awesome.
That's cool. It wasn't like, here's my wallet because you have a gun at me. It's like, is there anything else I can give you? Because you're obviously desperate and need it more than I do.
Hey Cheryl, there was two occasions where the only time I've given money to someone in need is because one of them had a very sore leg, and any time she put pressure on it, it hurt like hell. But there was another one, a girl, late teens, was stuck in Glasgow, and she got on the same bus that I'd been on for like 10 or 12 stops, and she was like, didn't have enough money. And I shouted over to her, how much do you need? And she was like, another £1.70. So I handed it to her, and she said, oh, are you sure about this? I said, yes. And she handed the money over to the butthead of a driver and came over and thanked me, went upstairs, and then came down when she was getting off and thanked me again.
I was recently at a gas station, and was just about to pull out, and this girl and guy came out from this building, and he handed her her purse, and then they parted ways, and I was pulling out. I saw her go across the parking lot and stand on the corner with a sign, and I drove past her, and I was like, well, gosh, I don't have anything, I don't have money, but maybe I could help out this girl. I only live 4 blocks away. So I went home, and I put together a little care package, some food, and got a sweater, and even a joint, rolled up a joint, grabbed a cold beer, and went back over to the gas station. I saw a group of people, what appeared to be that girl, that guy I didn't see around, and then there was, I think, 2 other girls and some other guy sitting there. And I'm like, are you the girl that was standing at the corner? And she's like, yeah. And I go, and I explained to her I had no money, but, I wanted to give what I could. And so I handed her the bag, and, and asked her to smoke weed. And she's like, yeah. And so that was in a cigarette pack with a book of matches. And then I said, wait, I got one more thing. And I pulled out this pair of new gloves that I'd actually bought I bought back when I bought that. I also bought a pair of socks, which I gave to a homeless guy once upon a time. And I said, yeah, here's some gloves to keep your hands warm. I said, I've been saving this for someone just like you. And she was grateful. And she's like, she understood. It's like, yeah, it works, right? People can use that stuff besides just money.
I'm pretty sure she was happy with that joint, man. I love it.
What's up? What's up? What's up?
Q, how you doing, brother? Yeah, for sure. I mean, who's gonna like randomly roll a joint and like bring a care package and offer that to someone? Like, that's pretty cool. Ice Cube just jumped into the Our Healing Choices program. It'd be awesome to have you chill with us for a while. We're talking about the topic of the night is applying good ethics in our lives, and we're to the point of just coming up with examples, really actually kind of bragging, which is totally okay right now, is when have you done something really good and ethical, and just examples, give people some hope and some inspiration. Maybe they haven't done that before, and they might try it next time, so yeah, we're sharing.
Well, it's a lot of things that I've done for people. Let's see. First one on my list, I gave a homeless person some money. I gave another homeless person food, blanket. So, yep. And then the other thing that I did was gave a homeless person some food, blanket, something to eat, and that's mostly about it.
Hello, Ice Cube. Welcome. Yeah, I was just talking to some untrusted users, but again, if you guys would like to be trusted in the channel, check out the rules if you haven't already. Come back, let me know you read them and you're willing to follow them. There's an image below the Z you can click on and scroll on down to read the rules. And if you're on iOS, they may not display, so let me know if that's the case.
Hey, what's up, sweetheart? How you doing?
It's about 6 months since I helped out that girl. Said she was 15, but the driver didn't believe her. It's just over 6 months ago now.
Thanks for sharing, Ice. Appreciate that, man. I just last night I had this. It was just crazy. Like I had this craving. I went to McDonald's. That wasn't it, really. The craving wasn't it. It was about what happened after the craving. I had it's like my weakness is the caramel sundae with nuts, right, at McDonald's. And so I get out of my car, you know, I'm eating this thing. I'm going towards the trash. I finish it, and I go to like throw it in the trash. And I think about it. I'm like, this is a really messy piece of plastic, right? Technically, this could be recycled. In the past, I would have like a bag in the back of my car, like one of those canvas bags from the grocery store. And I would literally just toss anything that's not so messy or not so smelly into that bag. And then eventually it would be mostly full or half full. And I would take it to my bin at home, right? I didn't have that bag.
Yeah, hi, Paul. Doing good, thank you. All right, I got you trusted. Welcome back. And Mick, I will go ahead and post a picture of the screenshot of the rules. You'll find them by clicking on the eyeball, tapping on the thumbnail image. That is going to be up in about 30 seconds. Hold on.
But yeah, what's up, untrusted users? What's up, new people, what's up? Welcome to the room, everybody.
So yeah, I was just saying, it's that the ethics of, do you throw plastic in the trash just because there's no option to recycle it, or do you do you become ethical and literally put it somewhere so that it has a place until it can get to be recycled? So that I was like totally fighting that like the other day, and do I throw it out? I ended up throwing it out, but it's like, you know, pissed off that there wasn't a good option at that moment, you know. And that was kind of the three fingers pointing back at me, but it was like, what, you know? So I think good ethics in that regard is literally having a bag or something to always throw recyclables in your car while you're out, so that you don't have to throw it in the trash. That most places only have a trash. They don't have a place for you to recycle, which is totally retarded. But, you know, I think that's good ethics. I got to get back to doing that.
Oh yeah, and the other thing I wanted to say was the other thing that I did was I took my friend in, I adopted him and took him in and took him underneath my care because he was homeless, so he didn't have no place to stay. And then I took my ex-girlfriend in because she was homeless and she ain't had no place to stay. So I took both of them two in, brought them into my home, and then looked for their parents, found their parents, and then let him move in with his mother. Then I found her mom, let her move in with her mom. So yeah.
Yeah, well, that's cool. That's how you do. I don't know how they lost their parents, but yeah, it can be quite disruptive sometimes to have guests over that are down on their luck. You know, it's usually on a shorter term basis than it ends up being, and they can be quite disruptive many times. Sometimes they're great. They really pound the pavement and find themselves a job and get back on their feet a lot and really help out around the place. Sometimes they're not so lucky. Anyway, yeah, with the recycling, yeah, if I'm at my car or I'll be to my car soon, yeah, I'll just bring the recyclable with me. But
Hello, Ring of Fire.
oops, I got cut off. Hi there. But yeah, if I have to lug it around for quite a bit, then I might end up maybe throwing it out or giving it to a homeless person that's wandering around or whatever, you know. I mean, I probably wouldn't just like, here, you want a can to a homeless person, but like if you see that they're collecting cans, then for sure. I've done that before.
Sorry for cutting you off, Cheryl. I wasn't aware that you were talking.
Well, just listen for a moment or check the history. You'll see if it says receiving. Yeah, because usually there's people talking in here. I know you're eager to say hi, but hello, welcome back.
Plus, if you don't hear anyone talking, or if you don't think anyone's talking, give it about 3 or 4 seconds, and if that still doesn't work, disconnect the channel and reconnect it a couple of times, and that should sync you up with the channel.
Yep, true, that's another way. Yeah, anyway, for those who are just recently joining us, we're doing our Tuesday night program, our Healing Choices discussion, nourishing, loving discussions, and tonight's topic is applying good ethics in our lives. And one of the talking points we're on right now is sharing something ethical that you've done.
Well, I've actually been helping somebody for about a year and a half, almost 2 years.
Oh, do you care to elaborate? And also for those who don't know, Andrew here is our host slash facilitator of this program. It is not me. I'm kind of like a co-host, and I am the owner of the channel.
Well, my brother-in-law, who's been homeless, I've been helping him out for about a year and a half, almost 2 years.
That's it.
Redneck, what happened there? You were talking and then you just suddenly keyed off. Did you get disconnected?
No, I'm still here. I think I probably got cut off.
Or maybe his finger slipped.
I don't know what happened. Anyway, everyone, I would like to introduce our newest guest. We have Mick here. Sexy Mick. Let's give him a warm ring of fire welcome. Hello, I'm Serenity. Welcome to the channel. Hope you have a good time.
Welcome to hell. No, I'm just kidding.
Andrew, who were you saying needs to bring up his mic volume? Are you talking about Mick?
Quite the opposite of hell, right? How you doing, Matt? And how you doing, Mick? My name's Andrew. I'm from Los Angeles. Welcome. I noticed that your mic volume is a little low, so if you want to get a little bit closer to the mic, that would help. Or if you know how to do it, maybe to adjust your microphone gain in your settings. But if not, maybe just get a little closer to the mic would help us hear you a little bit better.
Yeah, I'm doing all right. Just got back from my friend's house. I don't know if I told you that he was my boyfriend. So, yeah.
Yeah, how's this? A wee bit close to the mic? Is it okay? Yeah. Can you all hear me? What was I going to say? Well, my name's Mick and I'm from Scotland.
Yeah, can hear you a little better now. Welcome, brother. I think you're gonna like it here. No, in fact, I know you're gonna like it here. This channel is like an oasis in Zello. Hopefully you got this. You stumbled on this channel early, and you haven't had to experience the shitstorm that is typically Zello. So again, welcome. Enjoy the program. Like I say, anyone who showed up late, we're talking about applying good ethics in our lives, and we are talking about examples of where we were ethical. So rock on. Mike is yours.
Hey, welcome back, Matt.
Cheryl, if you look in the channel history there, that was one of my friends in Georgia received that from her boyfriend.
All right, yeah, hug coupons. Gosh, I should give some to Andrew. Andrew, make some. Print those out. You can pass them out. I mean, every time you give a free hug to somebody, you give them one of those, and tell them that if you present it to someone else, they must redeem it within 10 minutes.
Already taking notes. Literally, I'm just trying to save this in the proper folder where I'll remember it. But yeah, this is a cool idea. A lot of cool things coming up in regards to this. So thank you, brother, for sharing. I did see the other one that was like a hug something application or a cuddle application. Interesting stuff. So saving that now. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you for bringing that to my attention, Andrew. Yeah, I don't know if you realize, but we're the only ones that can see it because we have to approve it. So it's been approved, and everyone can see the cuddle application picture as well.
I don't need cuddles yet.
You know, it's actually really bizarre because I live in Washington and they have Dutch brothers here. And one lady came, and this was on the news. This is a true story. One lady had just lost her husband and she was like really distraught and everything. And they actually, the people that worked inside there actually stopped what they were doing and came out and prayed with her and gave her hugs and free coffee.
Very nice. Very nice.
Hello, the Ring of Fire. This is Sweet Angel 744. How's everybody doing tonight?
Hello there, welcome back.
This whole hug coupon thing reminded me of this thing that a friend of mine is doing, where they are writing like love letters, I guess, affirmations about love. Like I don't know, you are loved, never give up, you're closer than you think, stuff like this, and they basically just would put it in an envelope and leave it somewhere, anywhere in the world. Like it could be in the freezer section, the freezer of section of like Trader Joe's or something, just random, and just at any random place that you think someone might appreciate it, and just have a little party where you make them and then you go deliver them. But I think the hug coupon, depending on how it's supposed to be used, would be good to maybe put in there. I don't know. A lot of things are happening right now. I'm just trying to absorb it.
They actually have romantic coupon books. It might be good for a home-cooked meal, a foot rub, a bubble bath, stuff like that. Actually, many years ago, this one guy, he was wooing me quite well, might I add, and he would come by often when I was at work, when I was a bartender. Well, when I was bartending at this one place, and he would like leave a coupon on my windshield, and or remember he left like a rose on my door handle and some balloons, I think, one time even. But yeah, I got some of those little coupons. It was cool. My mom made some one time too. I think like one Christmas she didn't really have much to give us, so there was a coupon for a home cooked meal, and I think the other one was a foot rub, actually.
You may know about the suspended coffee idea about you order a coffee and you put one in a tab and a homeless person will come in and ask you if there's any suspended coffees, but there's another idea here where a guy wanted to improve homelessness in London with his innovative coffee shop idea where it only employs homeless people in London. Second Shot Coffee will employ 3 homeless people every 6 months alongside a coffee expert manager. Training, full-time employment and a London living wage of £9.15 an hour in a bid to become one of the best coffee houses in London, as well as the most charitable.
The name of the coffee shop?
Second Shot Coffee.
I'm going to contact them. I've got this like inspirational slideshow that would be pretty awesome in that coffee shop. Wow. Thank you, brother. You guys are all love and you're all effing awesome.
And you are too, Andrew.
I'll pretend I didn't hear that. LOL.
There's their contact details as well. Just remember with the phone number you'll need to add 44 at the start, so 440207. Might get you through, but it could be a costly phone call.
I'm sure they have a social media page of some sort. Looking forward to connecting with them, albeit it's very far away, but I've been looking for a coffee shop of sorts to showcase an inspirational projection slideshow. I have over 1,000 of these inspirational memes. They call them, there's different names for them, but inspirational, yeah, you know, it's like an inspirational picture with some famous quote on top. So tons of those, and I think it'd be really great as a slideshow, like every 30 seconds in a coffee shop, possibly multiple locations in a coffee shop, depending on how large it is. But I think it'd be super inspirational. I really want to partner up with the coffee shop or something of the sort to do that. And if it's already a cool, inspirational place like Second Shot Coffee, I think that'd be a good pairing to match up with them, with their energy. All right, guys, what else you got? Bring it. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's get this ball rolling here. There's a lot that we've done in the past that was ethical. Let's share and share and share. We got another 15, 20 minutes here. This is the time the ball will gather more moss down the hill. Let's roll.
And you just wasted about 20 seconds worth.
And you just wasted another 4, but we'll move on. Has anybody else got stories of helping people?
We're doing something ethical. I mean, usually it's helping people, but it might be maybe indirectly helping people, something that you've done.
aka the right thing to do. Come on, guys, we've had this before. Let's dig deep. When was it that we did the right thing? That was like the right thing to do in that moment.
I adopted a cat. And it's not people that I helped. It was a cat without a home. I gave her forever home, and it helped me too because I have a wonderful cat, just the best.
Well, lately I've been helping my uncles move.
I helped my brother move the other day. Not to say that wouldn't have happened anyway, but it's I could have not been available. My other brother wasn't or didn't make himself available, so I suppose that's good, right? Just making that choice.
Well, I'm the only one that helped my uncles, and they're both disabled veterans, so they needed help, so I jumped in.
Ethical could count, I don't know, but every time I greet someone at a restaurant or whatever where I'm gonna get something from them or pay for it, regardless, it doesn't matter. I'm always asking them how they're doing, how's their day going. I've had many people say no one has asked me all day. It's like they don't even know I exist. So that's something ethical I think we can all do, is just take a moment. It's a moment out of your day to ask the person who is going to be serving you one way or another, how are you today? How's your day going? It doesn't take a lot of time. And believe it or not, the answer is not going to be what you're afraid of. Is they're going to go on and on and on and on maybe. It's not. It's, I'm good, thanks. Thanks for asking. 9 times out of 10. So I'd say just do it. It's so worth it.
Yeah, well, just because you're paying them to serve you doesn't mean that you can't acknowledge them. I mean, you're paying them to care about you. Doesn't mean you have to not care about them. They're not vending machines. They're automatons. They are true people, real people. And, a little care, a smile, some kindness can be quite infectious and go a long way. Can radiate throughout the restaurant. That server can bring it onto another table. And those people can give it back and so on, radiate right out the door, kind of like paying it forward.
I gave my waitress a $20 tip.
Oh, and by the way, never tell a server or somebody in the hospitality industry just simply to smile. Give them a reason to smile. Ask them how they're doing. Don't just walk up, smile. It's actually kind of annoying. I was a bartender for many years, and I'd be washing glasses. I wasn't interacting with customers at that time. I'm just doing a menial task. And I've had people more than once come up and tell me to smile while I'm washing dishes. Now, think about it. Do you go around your house vacuuming your carpet or washing your dishes with a smile on your face? So give them a reason to smile.
Well, I mean, a smile can say a lot. It can say that you love your job, but if you have a smirk on your face, that could probably mean, well, you probably hate your job.
Yeah, but think about it. If you're interacting with people, that's a reason to smile. Okay, but if you're just doing like a menial task, taking out trash, washing dishes, stuff like that, people aren't going to have a smile plastered on their face. And I guarantee you, if you see that, you're going to think there's something really wrong with these people. Why are they're not looking at anybody, they're washing dishes. Why would they be sitting there with a smile plastered on their face? And I even look.
At least be curious, like, wow, I've never seen someone so happy about washing dishes. What coffee did you drink this morning? Right? I'm sorry, what drink did you have this morning? Or so on and so forth. You know what I'm saying? What did you do this morning?
Yeah, I've talked to other people in the industry. Like there's this waitress Well, she's bartends sometimes too. She's been in here and she's had the same thing. People come up and tell her to smile when she's washing glasses, and she thinks it's the same way. It'd be ridiculous. She has a smile plastered on her face while she's washing glasses, and she's not making eye contact and her interacting with people.
My ethics is offering hugs. I think breaking down those barriers, those walls with others, and accepting everyone as a brother and a sister, part of the human family, is like I think probably the most essential ethics that a person can have. You know, we shouldn't be fearful of our fellow human beings, you know, by default. You know, that's just the wrong way to be. I think you should be open and welcoming and inviting, and I don't know how to put it. Like, there's no words to describe. Anyway, that's my ethics, is offering hugs. I do it a lot. I hold a free hug sign random places, and I'm actually starting to do Facebook Live every time I set up to do it. I'll figure where I'm going to be, stop in a place where there's a captive audience of people just kind of chilling at a cafe or something, and you know, some foot traffic, and I'll just film it. I'll just set up my tripod. I've done it a couple times. I'm going to keep doing it, like, because I feel like this needs to be seen. There's actual hugs happening. Actual people who are standing, being available to offer a hug to a complete stranger is unity, is love. So that's my ethics. That's my one-stop shop for ethics.
Hey, Andrew, don't forget to mention, speaking of recording, about these webisodes being available, where to find them.
Yeah, why not? The programs are all on YouTube, most of the recent ones. Last, I don't know, there's probably about 20 or so up by now. Yeah, and the one today, I'm experimenting now. I'm doing a slideshow, the one that I had mentioned, that I would potentially use at the coffee shop. I'm doing that as the video for the audio that you would have otherwise just seen a logo. That's it for the whole audio bit for these programs on YouTube. But now you'll at least be able to listen to the dialogue here on Zello, but you'll also be able to watch something, which is an inspirational slideshow. So I'm real glad I thought to do that, because at least now people will be able to watch the whole episode and be inspired the whole way through, not just by what people are saying, but also what they're reading on screen from those inspirational memes. And that will I'm going to keep doing that. I think if that works out, I am going to for sure keep doing it. So a lot of cool things in the works. I'm really optimistic right now. So. All right, what else are we sharing? We're sharing more examples of how to apply good ethics in our lives. Let's go.
That's awesome, Andrew, and definitely worth mentioning.
I'm just wondering, Andrew, have you ever made videos about you hugging other person? Just sounds something that I saw before.
Yeah, I made a video. We did a Free Hugs Los Angeles. If you type in Free Hugs Los Angeles in YouTube, made an edited video of it. But yeah, there's another guy, Juan Man. He did an inspirational video about offering hugs a long time ago, maybe 10, 15 years ago now. That's gone viral. There's a new guy now, Ken Nalki, I think his name. His last name is kind of hard to pronounce. Sorry, Ken, if I hacked it, but if you're listening, doubt it. But anyway, yeah, Ken, he's becoming the poster child for the Free Hugs movement. I haven't been on video as much as he has, and he's doing produced like videos where he's offering hugs to cops. His MO is a little different. He just like kind of goes towards people with his arms open, so they kind of have no kind of have no choice but to hug them, which I think it should be more of they chose to get a hug. You know, you got your arms open, but it's not like you're chasing, you're going towards them. You know, could be intimidating for some people, but that's his thing. But yeah, there's been videos made, brother, for sure. Just YouTube it, and there's people doing it all around the world. If you do hashtag free hugs on any of your social media platforms, you'll see like tons and tons and tons of videos and pictures of people doing it. So it's becoming more and more popular now, and I hope like bottom of my heart, I hope like a lot of people, I hope it's like a common thing that when you're out on a Friday or Saturday night, you're gonna see at least one or two people or groups offering hugs, and you go and you give them a hug and you connect with them in that way. It doesn't matter what their color, their skin is, whether they look like they're different than you do it just because it's the right thing to do. That is what I hope to see in my future, in our future.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, because I was just wondering. I seen a couple of videos like that on YouTube. But it's pretty hard giving anybody a hug or in New York.
Wow, really? It's because people are just like stuck in their own little world, and they try not to interact with people for fear of whatever. Because there's definitely a lot of people, and I've been there. I've seen a lot of creative people there. You know, playing their guitars or whatever they're doing. I thought that was just awesome.
Definitely, you got some section of areas that people are basically more friendly than other people. But most of the time, go somewhere up the business section in New York, they just look at you weird.
I would think like Greenwich Village, Washington Square Park might be a good place, or maybe down by the 9/11 Memorial. This might be some good places.
Any place that has either a captive audience and or where a lot of people have to flow through an area on foot. Like for instance, a pier, a pier where a lot of people go to, like for instance, Santa Monica Pier. There's kind of generally only one entrance and one exit. Not so much for that pier because it's so large, but in general, anytime where people have to flow through one generally confined area, what I would call like a bottleneck, would be an excellent place to post up and offer hugs, because you're going to have a good crowd and you're going to get inspired, because yeah, there will be a lot of people that are not ready yet and comfortable yet with offering or getting a hug from a complete stranger, but for the most part, there will be a lot that do, and that gives you a lot of hope and just whatever energy you came into it with, it changes. You know, if you were already upbeat and ready to roll, you're just going to be more. If you're a little down for the day, but you knew this would be good for you, it'll bring you up. It's just amazing what it can do for you and what it can do for people around you, especially if you have a captive audience of people who are sitting around, you know, like it's Santa Monica Pier. A lot of people are just kind of walking around, chilling, you know, they don't really have any place to go, you know, thing to do. They're just kind of waiting and watching to see what's going on here and what you're doing. And once they see what actually is happening, they're like, oh shit, that's awesome, let's do that. Or, you know, let's get a hug at least and just say that I did, you know, no regrets. So it's pretty huge, you know. And like I say, I think that once more people see on video that more than just, let's say, me, like step up and start doing it, that others people join me, blah blah, you know, they're going to start realizing that they can do this too. It's not reserved for just one person, a quote unquote poster child like Oprah, to do this kind of thing. This is one thing that like every human being on this planet can do without any skill, which is great. You don't need to train anybody so much. Ethics. What do we got outside of homeless people and offering hugs? There's more to this. people holding other people up at their house, offering their home and a lot of their time and food and whatnot for friends and relatives. What else we got here? What have we experienced in our lives that would be us being ethical or someone else being ethical?
That's a good way to broaden it. What other people have done that you've witnessed or that they've done for you.
I lent, my grandfather had gifted like just about everybody in the family a good large sum of money. I wouldn't say large, reasonably large sum of money. And at that time, my girlfriend really needed the money to get through school or whatever. And she said, "Look, I'll work it off. I will pay you back. I promise." And I said, "All right." So down the road, she wasn't my girlfriend, but ironically, that I just trusting my intuition, like she eventually paid it all back. And in a way, I almost kind of wrote it off, like, you have to almost let go of the attachment to the money, but she did eventually pay it all back. So, giving money at that point, thankfully for her, I didn't really have a real purpose for that money. And so letting it go wasn't that big a deal. I suppose I could have invested it had I known better, but that money didn't come with a set of instructions. So I'm just grateful that she ended up paying it back.
That's a good story. Here's something that happened recently, maybe a couple of months ago. I went to a convenience store and my purchase was close to $10, and I gave him the card, or around the card, and I was pretty sure I had money on it, but I don't check my balance all that much. I'm just not that good at it. And it said it was declined, and I was like, really? Like, not enough money in there? Okay, well, anyway, this woman behind me offered to purchase. She purchased my purchase, and I was just blown away by the kindness of it. I actually checked my balance later, and I did have money in there. I don't know what happened. Maybe I should have had them run it again, but totally understood. Very cool of her. She's like, "Oh yeah, cards. Yeah, she's, I know how it is."
I was out offering hugs at the DNC last week, and there was a guy that I was talking to who had, I guess he dressed up as like Bernie or something like this, and he kind of gave up that, and he decided to come back to where I was, where a lot of protesters were, and he noticed that I was offering hugs, and he decided to join. And then a guy with water came by, and I didn't really have any cash on me. And I know these guys need cash, but I did really need a drink. And I said, I think I got it enough for now. I had like one bottle of water, but I really knew that I needed some like Gatorade or something. And I did see it in there. I said, what I really need is like a Gatorade or something. He says, I just don't have cash. And the guy happened to hear me talking to the vendor, and he said, hey, look, man, can I buy you a drink? Can I buy your drink? And I said, wait, really? Like I didn't really need it. Like I probably intuitively I knew that I probably did need the electrolytes from the better drink, not the water, because I hadn't really had that much to eat or drink that day. But it's the fact that someone saw what I was doing and felt compassion for that in a way that they were willing to spend their own money to buy me a drink so I could continue essentially doing what I'm doing. So it was like, you just get you just get blown away. I mean, it's not that much. It's only $3 or whatever, but you just get blown away by the idea that the thought that someone would be willing to do that. So good ethics, I think. And I was grateful. He did end up doing it. There was kind of a weird spat between him and another vendor, and then eventually he went and grabbed the drink and brought it back, and I was like super grateful. So yeah, gave the guy a hug. I mean, he's being that. And that's cool. It's good to know that those people do exist. They're out there. They're amongst us, and there's more of them, I think, than we know.
I think when people see you doing a good thing, an ethical thing, helping people, whatever it might be, like they're more inclined to help you out, even if you're not helping them. They see it, they know you're a good person, and it kind of encourages you, it keeps you going, it helps you going, at least, because you're out there, busting your butt for good cause. So yeah, a little something to keep you going is thoughtful.
Definitely boosted my spirits. You're surrounded by protesters with a bunch of anger and negativity, and yet here's someone that actually understands what you're doing, gets it. There are others that obviously stopped and got a hug and everything, but this person went a step further and said, look, I want to support this person that's doing something positive amidst this group of people who are doing something essentially negative. So anyway, I was grateful. I definitely boosted my spirits, like not just the hugs that I got from random people, but when that guy stepped up and did that, it was pretty cool.
I'm sure it boosted your electrolytes too.
Yeah, grateful for that too, for sure.
So who do we still have in here? I see the numbers have kind of dropped. I don't know. Is this not an awesome topic? I think it's a great topic. And it's not just because I'm the one that added it to the list. It's definitely something we need more of in this world. I think everybody should always apply good ethics.
I got a question maybe before we round this out is where and how do we find good ethics in our world? Like if we were to pursue good ethics, how would we do that?
Oh, if we need to learn more? By example, I guess. But if not, there's volumes of text on every subject out there. But if we happen to have good role models in our life, that's great. Maybe we have a boss who's really ethical, a friend, a coworker, a grandparent, teacher, someone in the church. That's always nice. But we're not always so lucky to have good role models. So essentially, if you open a book by someone who specializes or knows a lot on a topic, that can be essentially your role model. It doesn't always have to be somebody that you know and has taken time to talk with you and for you to learn from. So yeah, there's always that. I know nobody really hardly goes to libraries anymore, but hey, it's free reads, right? But there's ebooks and books you can download on the internet and ebook readers and all that. Order a used paperback through Amazon or something. It brings me to another good question. It's like, how many people have a library card? And maybe some people do. I think most people really don't, though. And even if they do, like how many of them actually use it, say at least once a year?
Library still exists there, Cheryl?
LOL. Someone just, yes, I do have a library card. It's probably way outdated, but someone mentioned this thing called Overdrive. It's literally an app on Android, possibly Apple device, but it's like I think like over 1 million people have downloaded this app, Overdrive, and it's basically a way to get books, PDF books, and audio books and whatnot from the library. Literally, like you rent them out, and then at the end, it just basically tells you, please delete this off your device. And some of them it doesn't even say. I think if you do it on a PC, it doesn't even say. So it's pretty cool, like pretty recent stuff too, pretty current stuff. So just a resource. The other thing I was going to suggest is vetting. I probably do this too much, but when someone wants to be a friend on any of my social media accounts, I'm basically vetting them. I'm looking at like, is this an inspirational person? You know, they say that when you surround yourself with, you know, the 5 people that you have in your life that are closest to you, that you talk to on a regular basis, if they're inspirational and positive, so will you. So if you can look at the 5 people in your life that you hang out with the most, and how many of them are inspirational and bring you up, and how many of them kind of don't bring you up or bring you down, then it's basically vetting the people in your life that are influencing you on a day-to-day basis. So I look at my social media accounts and I'm basically vetting people. Like, I hate to say it, but it's like if you're gonna post pictures of just like food and stuff, and that's all you do, and all you're doing is selfies like all day long, I'm sorry, I don't need to be friends with you. If you're posting inspirational things or anything remotely inspirational, like family pictures or something like this, where it's not just about you, then like I want you on my side. Like when I see your stuff in my stream, whatever, you know, I'm likely to be inspired and be lifted up versus down. So I think this whole idea of you know, being more ethical is just surrounding yourself with more people that are that. You know, so you choose your role models in essence by vetting people out of your life that are not very ethical. You know, and I think that's huge. I think that's super important, at least knowing to do something like this in whatever way you choose to do it. You know.
Yeah. Well, you can't always see what's on someone's page, but yeah, I get it. Taking a look, is it inspirational? Is it positive, or at least helpful? Because not everything helpful is positive. Like maybe somebody's giving you something informational about something bad that's going on, but you need to know that they do that because they care. That's maybe something helpful out of a negative. You know, did you know that, you know, your government is doing this or something like that? But yeah, I hear you. And there's something similar to what you said about the 5 closest people. Another thing that goes, you are the sum total of the 5 closest people in your life, your 5 closest friends. And I'm sure that's on many levels, you know, income, like, you know, socioeconomic class, personality, ethics, where you're headed in life, all that. And Peter, yes, there are libraries out here. Do you guys not have libraries still? Or are you just joking?
He's just joking. Peter seems to be bopping in and out of the channel, just like, oh, what's going on here? No, not up in chat yet. I'll come back. Too funny. Yeah, I think just about we've just about done everything we could with this topic. I think it's been super nourishing. Any other final thoughts maybe about the topic before we wrap this thing up, guys? Anyone who hasn't mic'd up, feel free to jump in and share your thoughts about this, and maybe your experiences with this in the past, or even just what's going on tonight. Maybe comment on that.
Well, I appreciate you sharing what went down at the DNC, your experience with it, and the examples therein of ethics, ethical behavior. So thank you much for that. But as far as libraries, I think some have closed and hours have been cut back due to funding cutbacks, which is unfortunate. But in this information age, I'd say people get a very small amount of their information from there now these days.
Yeah, I definitely need to get back in the loop of the library. Could save a lot of money. I've been spending money on audiobooks that I don't probably need to spend. Here's a meme. I think maybe they also call these infographics. This one says, "What is ethical behavior? Ethics, standards or moral values which dictate what is right and what is wrong or good or bad, are culturally based and formed based upon society's expectations. They vary by person and by situation. Everyone develops their own quote unquote like code of ethics." So this is all kind of learned, and you kind of formulate your code of ethics based on your life experience, essentially. Here's another one. This one is what is good work ethic? One is it's being committed to your goals. Some of the qualities include responsibility, flexibility, honesty, cooperation, commitment.
Yeah, I was wondering when the memes would come out. Thank you. Someone just posted a picture. Kayan or Mancy. I approved it, but I don't know what it is. Oh, is he interested? Oh, okay, Khan. Yeah. Maybe you can tell us what it is. And by the way, we'd be happy to trust you and anybody that's sitting in the untrusted area. Just key up after reading the rules and tell us you've read them, you're willing to follow them, etc. Okay.
It's another really good meme. This one says, "An ethical life is built of integrity, honesty, kindness, decency, and belief in truth, justice, honor, love, respect, compassion, and working together to make life better."
Oh, that's the best. Absolutely. That sums it all up right there. Some of the things I mentioned, but yeah, I didn't cover all those. But yeah, that truly is the meaning of ethics.
I like the working together to make life better part at the end. Like that you give a shit about other people and you're willing to work with them to make your life and their life better. Here's a quote by Albert Einstein. It says, "Without ethical culture, there is no salvation for humanity."
That's a good one. Do me a favor and post that last one that I liked.
The one about working together?
Yep. I think I'd like to post that in the channel. I mean, put it up as a channel description picture tonight. That's what Ring of Fire stands for. I don't think I've ever put a picture up here that didn't say Ring of Fire on it. But that just applies to the channel so much that I definitely make an exception for that.
All right. Didn't have that many memes tonight, so I'm out. Anyone else have any final thoughts before we wrap this one up? Yeah, actually there was one other one. It says it's got like an arrow, a line and an arrow going to each one. It says good morals, line with an arrow to good thoughts, and then a line with with an arrow to good actions. So good morals lead to good thoughts, lead to good actions. Pretty cool stuff.
Very good. Well, I guess this topic is losing steam. Perhaps we're losing guests. Not sure. Or some people just don't know what to say, which is kind of surprising because I think a lot of most of the people that come here are made of some pretty good ethical stuff, and always have good stuff to say. But yeah, I guess last call, and then we'll figure out what next week's topic will be.
I just have to say that I'm super grateful that there's an actual forum where random people can jump on, have a real conversation about anything important, and not be blocked by a bunch of meaningless like psychobabble. To be able to have a real conversation with people. I mean, in another country, we've got, I think it's Ian. I think he's from England. It looks like there was someone from Ireland, I believe, that jumped in, and it's just amazing the possibilities of this this tool called Zello. Super grateful that that's even a possibility, that what we're doing here is even possible. So I don't know, ethics. I feel like this is just one of those things that we have to get through life, and maybe suffer less. The more ethical we are, the less we suffer, and the less others suffer too. So, if there's a healing choice here, it's really choosing to always be ethical, or at least forgiving yourself if you don't, like I did the other day with the recycling. I mean, that's a super small thing, I get it, but forgiving yourself if your intention was to be ethical and, let's say, recycle something, and you ended up throwing it out because it was what was convenient at the time. Forgiving yourself for that, and just carrying on, and just at least trying to be good, for the most part. I mean, nobody's perfect. I'm not perfect. I don't think anyone who claims they're perfect is not. Anyway, so yeah, guys, I just have to say thanks so much for being here, for making the choice to be here. That's pretty important right there. I love you guys. I will always, regardless. So keep showing up, whether it be in this channel or just with people in your life. Keep growing as best you can. Get better than you were yesterday, and I think you'll benefit from it, and everyone around you will too. So thanks again, guys. Wrapping it up for the night. Just so you all know, there is a rolling 3 months to live challenge, and it's this hypothetical thing we came up with from one of the previous topics. Was come up with a list of at least six items that you can do that don't necessarily require money. Like communicating with a long lost relative that that you care about, but you haven't communicated with for a while for whatever reason. Forgiveness, whatever you need to do, that kind of thing, and trying to get them done within the 3 months. Now we're down to 2 weeks here. There's going to be one more week, and then there's going to be the presentation of whatever we've done as the topic for 2 weeks from now. So yeah, you can jump in right now. Just make a list of things that you could do if you had 3 months to live, but not necessarily had saved up the funds for that. So do that, and then try to get some of those done. We encourage you to at least try to get one of them done. If you could get them all done, great. If you can make that all happen. Again, this is just the idea that if you only had 3 months to live, you're going to want to get all those done, and the urgency there. So anyway, you're welcome to join that project, whatever. And again, 2 weeks, we'll be going over that. It's mid-August. So thanks again, guys. Opening it up to voting on the next topic. If you have any thoughts on a topic, please go ahead and share that right now. I'll put it on the list, and we'll roll into snapshots of the current list so that you can kind of help vote. One of the more important things we do so that we have something good to talk about next week.
Oh, finally came up for air. I'd love to comment on there. First off, Ian's from Scotland. And yeah, if you brought up some of these topics in some other channels, he'd be like, shut up, homeboy, get off the mic or something. And yeah, we do share with people from like darn near every corner of the world. And yeah, the bucket list, I'm working my way through the list. My mom's birthday is coming up, excuse me, right before we do the conclusion of that 3 months to live. So I will be seeing her and be able to scratch off not just one, but 2 things, because I will also be sharing, giving the item, the thing that's important to me, to someone who's special to me, and I chose my sister. And I'm actually going to bring 2 things for her. One of them already escaped my mind, but yeah, maybe I need to set them aside so I don't forget, and just let her choose which one she wants. So thank you, Andrew.
Cool, very cool. I am behind on my list. I definitely have to get on it. So just been, so many things have come up in the last couple of weeks, months, last few months, that it's just like I really have no excuse. But I will do my best to at least get a few done. God, it'd be great if I can get them all done. But then again, I do have to find my list as well. It's probably a few pages back on my notes. But yeah, stay on it, guys. Can't hurt. The reality of it in this is that we might even, nobody knows when their expiration date is, right? So in essence, this is in practice, but it could be a reality. I'm knocking on wood right now, but it could be a reality. So let's just let's try to put some urgency on this and see what we can come up with. So not next week, but the following week, we'll just have a topic where we're just sharing that and or discussing it. If you missed out on it, at least we can discuss it and help people figure out what that would be for them. So looking forward to it for sure. Any thoughts on topics, wellness related? If you haven't mic'd up the whole time, this is the time. If you just want to throw in an idea on a topic, go ahead and just mic up, and I'll add it to the list right now.
Yeah, and even if someone's just now hearing about it tonight, and they don't think they can get them scratched off in 2 weeks, I know that's pretty short, they could still make a list, in 2 weeks share with us what they did cross off, maybe they get one off, and then kind of commit, not a promise to us, but themselves, to doing the rest, hopefully in 3 months, and if not, in a little bit more time. And then there might be even some people who show up that day and be like, oh, that's the first I've heard about it. Those people too could make a list and give themselves 3 months, and then maybe even mention it, what they did 3 months later in one of your programs.
Did I hear Cheryl mentioning my name and something about other rooms and being